Hello and welcome back to episode 12 of the Broadrun podcast, where we're talking all things running. Today we are going to be talking about something which is pretty relevant to me as I'm going on holiday, or I'm going back home away from Dubai for a few weeks, and just wanted to touch on something that I've noticed with my athletes is running on holiday. So running when they're going to travel or running when they're going away from their home. This is something that sometimes quite annoys me as a coach, and something that I've seen as people that could really get some benefit from doing. And just wanted to touch a bit some, tips and tricks and just sort of what I think of what you should do when you're running on holiday. So yeah, I think sort of overall the majority of people, I would say, generally people say, I'm going on holiday, I can't carry on with the training program. I've got 2 weeks, I'm not going to be able to do anything. And that's sort of where I start to get, frustrated and annoyed, because they've just immediately closed down their opportunities to train during that 2 weeks, where I think that might be the wrong way to look at it. When you're obviously going away, I think it's always healthy to discuss with your coach the fact that you are going away, and that you won't be in your normal routine, because things will change. And I think that's most important first of all. Or if you're planning your own coaching sessions, it's important to have that discussion with yourself, even if you're going to do it across, just in your diary, or, just write it out, or just in thoughts in your own head. It's important to understand that obviously that means that things are going to change for you. You're not going to be able to sort of carry on with the same routine. But in the same breath, that doesn't mean that training has to stop 100%. And I think that's where people really let themselves down, is they think in absolutes, and they think that just because they're going away from their regular routine means that they have to go away from their regular exercise. And they'll often go on holiday, end up maybe increasing alcohol consumption, increase calorie consumption, come back, feel like they've not made any progress. Obviously, they've not made any progress in their fitness. And they've probably, instead of coming back refreshed and feeling better, which that's what they have told themselves they're going to feel, they come back feeling sluggish, feel like they've lost fitness, going to take, a good week, 2 weeks to get back into the swing of things. Technically, on paper, they're probably not going to have lost too much fitness. That's probably going to take, extended periods of time, around 3 to 4 weeks or a couple months to, entirely lose it. And it will come back quickly. But, I think it's always good to just keep the engine ticking over when you're away on holiday. Something I've always found good with my athletes is just having an open, honest conversation, and just say, how many sessions, if I've got a regular 5-session plan, how many sessions of those do you think you're going to want to do? And when I say sessions, that doesn't exactly mean, go out and do the world's hardest track session. You're away in, Spain or somewhere. You need to go and find a track, and you need to go and take your running, your specific track running shoes. That just means getting out to run. Or it could mean something that's maybe more family driven. So if you're out there with your family, you're out in a different place, maybe you're going to rent some bikes, you're going to go and do an hour and a half easy training on the bikes. You're maybe going to go for extended walks. Maybe you're, taking an active holiday where you're camping, and that might be something to consider into the holiday. But if you're going on your sort of generic holiday where you're staying at a hotel, there's absolutely no reason why you can't take one pair of trainers, one set of running kit, and get out and hit the roads in first thing in the morning. Likely you're going to wake up later, which is fine. You're there to relax and let your body, rest. You're able to get up and, maybe after you've had some breakfast, maybe go out and sort of 30 to 40 minutes, nice and easy run once every couple of days. And I really think that is, you're not exactly going to become, it's not like a killer session, but I always say, like, the power of consistency when it comes to running training is the most important thing that you can look for. So if you're able to look for, that consistent effort over the holiday, it means that you're sort of managing your fitness while you're away. I think that's really important. And I just wouldn't be so quick to just go and immediately write yourself off of any exercise. Also, if you've got an active family, it's something that you can get them to participate in too. And you can say, right, well, coach, instead of going out and doing a really tough session, me and my wife or me and my husband are going to go out and do, an hour easy run to go and explore the local area. And that's often what I do when I'm going on holiday. I say, Sophie doesn't come out running with me, but I say, right, well, I'm going to go and, run down the beach and try and find us somewhere that we're going to go for lunch. And, I've just like gamified it to say, right, well, I'm going to go out for an hour, but, whether I find somewhere or not, and, realistically, she's probably found somewhere already, but go out and try and find somewhere that we're going to go out for a coffee and, run 30 minutes one way down the beach and come back the other way. Or if we're in a hilly area, maybe go for a long, hour walk together, and, still spend that good quality family time, and, but still get some good training in as well. And I think that's, one of the best things you can do. Also, it gives you, if you're someone who's been training 7-8 hours a week, you're probably someone who needs that for your mental break as well, for your own time. If you think about all the time you spend together, an hour away from one another, an hour away from your family, if you can justify it, is, your own time in your own headspace. It's going to be a chance to get out there and sort of, get your thoughts out and, explore the new place. So I do think it's really important. Plus, as well, you're going to come back from your holiday still feeling that mental refresh, but ready to, take up the serious training again without feeling like you've sort of undone all the good and hard work that you've done over the weeks and months. Especially if you've got a time-driven goal. If somebody's got a marathon goal, you can just keep the time in, but discuss with your coach the possibility of doing a deload week that week or two that you're away, something a bit easier. It's going to be in your plan anyway, so why not just include it on the time you're on holiday instead of doing nothing and coming back and feeling like you've really wasted that time and you're not going to hit your goal. You can still work towards your time orientated goal, but just obviously reframe it as something like a deload week. Try a chance to do something different when you're on holiday. If you're, from the UK, you're likely probably going on holidays to places like Spain, Portugal, France. Take swimming goggles with you. Go out and, you can do an hour swimming there in the sea. You can go and do, laps in your pool. You can go and do, go to the hotel gym and do like a strength training workout, go to the hotel gym and do a treadmill workout, or, something that I always like to get people to do is do like a cross trainer workout, which is low impact and, still good aerobic development. And you can also do different types of sessions on there. So, try and do something different. And, what I will say is just try and keep the training up and try and stay consistent, because at the end of the day, it's a long game. You're not going to sort of lose out entirely. If you feel like you need the mental break, that's obviously something you need to consider also. But I will say it is good to keep going. So when you're going on, you want to plan for success, right? So before I will go on holiday, I will normally look at the local routes. Obviously, this time I'm going on holiday, I'm going to a place called Greenock in Glasgow, or just outside Glasgow. I know the area well, but I know the different routes that I'm going to be able to take. So I say, right, well, on my, I'm leaving tonight, but I'll do my Tuesday morning run. I'm going to go and do a hill session on the local hill. On the Thursday, on the Wednesday, I'm busy. On the Thursday, I'm going to do a long run. On Thursday, we're going to Portugal. We're going to look out and do a long run together as a group, because we're going on a group holiday. And then we're going to do a long walk on the Friday. And then on the Friday, we have a wedding. But on the Saturday, I'm going to get up and do a nice, easy recovery run, fly back to Glasgow. I've got it all planned out. So I've got my routes all planned out. So, you probably don't want to hear exactly my holiday itinerary, but I've got a rough idea of what I'm going to do. Obviously, things don't always go to plan, but, that's the base idea that I have down in my Training Peaks plan. So it means that I can nail it. Also set yourself up for success and make sure you take the right equipment that you need. So packing your running gear, I've got my bags packed here, got my heart rate monitor for some low heart rate training, which I spoke about a few videos ago. So if you want to go and check that out, I'm going to go and do some heart rate training. I've got a couple of pairs of trainers. I've got more than a few pairs of trainers, but the trainers are packed. I've got 3 or 4 different running outfits that I can get washed and stuff, and it means that I'm, ready to go. I've got my rain jacket because I'm training in Scotland, so I will need that. And I've also taken a cycling kit and my cycling shoes just in case I'm able to rent a bike and go out and get a session out doing some endurance training there. So always sort of have that preparation done. If you don't take the stuff, you're never going to do it. So forget about it. You can also do things like take in your suitcase something like this, like maybe a band. You can still get your strength exercises done, and it means that you're smashing it. I'll definitely be taking my camera there, chance to explore, maybe hopefully record a few episodes of this podcast while I am there to keep me busy. So a couple of things that I want to sort of go and talk about is just obviously adjusting to the different climates. If you're someone that's traveling from the UK or somewhere colder, you're probably going to struggle when you first get across. I remember the first holiday that I went running. I went to Mallorca from Glasgow. It was 7 degrees in Glasgow, and then the next day, 3 hours later, I arrived in Mallorca, and it was 27 degrees. I tried to go out for a run in the midday sun, and I absolutely boiled over. Just was completely not ready. So adjusting to that new sort of environment, that new temperature zone, is something that should be considered. Obviously, if you're going somewhere that's a bit further away, adjusting to the time zones. I'm not going to go too much into that. There's plenty of other topic podcasts and stuff that you can get, the sports science stuff. In terms of that, sort of, I just say I always find that exercise is a good way to beat the jet lag. If you get up at the time that you're supposed to go out and do an exercise, it sort of sets your sort of time clock back in. And if you have something like a Whoop or a Garmin that measures your recovery score, you will see that your recovery score is massively hindered by the change of time zone. So, adjust your effort and don't go out and do anything silly that, you wouldn't be able to, if you're feeling your body needs a rest, that's probably what it needs, what your body's telling you. Obviously diets, I won't dive too much into that. It's not something that I massively go into, but, if you're on holiday, so don't put too much stress and strain about what you're eating. If you're going to go out a few times, I don't think it's going to completely knock you off your goal, as long as you're consistent with your exercise, and keep, your daily moving going. It's not going to absolutely kill you to have a couple of paellas a couple of times a day. So I think that's basically it for that. But obviously, if you're going anywhere nice in the summer and you listen to this, then you can let me know where you're going. And if you think that I've obviously messed up any, if there's anything else you think I should cover, then you can let me know. And hope you enjoyed listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.